What is up, my comrades? I am Jay Shady, aka the voice of reason, and I am here with my WrestleMania 2 review. Okay, so this WrestleMania is famous for being the WrestleMania that was held in 3 different venues during the same night. So you had a show in New York, Nassau Coliseum, in Chicago and Los Angeles. Each venue had 4 matches, so a total of 12 matches, I believe. Yes, a total of 12 matches. So a lot of matches for one WrestleMania. Let's kick it off. It starts off in the New York portion of the show at Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. You had Vince McMahon. This was the first time you've seen Vince at WrestleMania, and he was commentating the New York portion of the show. And he was commentating with this actress. I don't know who this lady is, but I mean, they were on the same level of bad as Cole and Lawler. I can't even lie. I mean, they're probably even worse if you really think about it. They had no chemistry, and this lady, she sounded like one of those like light music radio station hosts, those like girls that like host these soft rock light radio stations. Like, hello everybody, I'm hosting Light FM. Next up, we will listen to a song by a soft rock band, and it puts me in a good mood. Like this, it had no place for a wrestling show. You know, everything she said throughout the whole fucking night was uh-oh. Every time somebody would do an offensive move, horrible. I don't know why this girl was commentating. So that was hard to sit through. And then the whole atmosphere, like, it was weird, the setup. Like, you just had the ring lit up and the whole audience area was all dark. You couldn't see anybody in the crowd. The whole audience wasn't lit. It was like I was just watching a wrestling ring. I couldn't get into this shit. And you had some bad camera angles. So it was just hard to get into these matches. It was just so awkward. You had bad commentating, bad lighting, bad camera angles. It felt like not a WrestleMania. It felt like a cheap, promotion. So the first match that kicked it off was Paul Orndorff against Don Morocco. This match was going okay. It was nothing special. It was going all right though, nothing like horrendous, but it ends on a double count out. Like, it was just horribly choreographed and horribly booked. Like, they didn't know what was going on, Vince and the lady. They didn't know why the referee rang the bell. It was like the fastest 10 count ever, and they didn't even announce it. Howard Finkel didn't announce that it was a count out because they cut to an interview, so nobody even fucking knew what was going on. You didn't know why the match ended. You had the whole fucking crowd chanting bullshit, bullshit. The stupidest decision, and they didn't even address that it was a count out. It just ended. A stupid way to open the show. Then you get Macho Man, the introduction of Macho Man into WrestleMania, and also the introduction of George the Animal Steele. So Macho Man versus George the Animal Steele for the Intercontinental Championship. This match was ugly looking. It was sloppy. I mean, it wasn't pretty at all. I mean, it was nice seeing Macho Man, Macho Man's a legend, but I mean, it feels like blasphemy to say that it was a bad match, but it wasn't a good match. It just it was weird. It was very awkward, and the camera angles and the audience just took me out of it. Nothing really went on in the match. It was just a lot of Macho Man running around and George the Animal Steele chasing him. It ends with Macho Man pinning him, with Macho Man having the foot on the ropes, and the referee didn't see it. Then George the Animal Steele starts eating the turnbuckle. I mean, not a good match, really not. Then you get the introduction of Jake the Snake Roberts at WrestleMania. Jake the Snake Roberts versus George Wells. This was actually going pretty good. It was going okay, and I was, interested in seeing, Jake the Snake Roberts work. But out of nowhere, in like 3 minutes, it ends with him just doing the DDT and getting the pin. Like, they didn't let this shit build up, and it was going okay. I wanted to see more from Jake the Snake Roberts, but out of nowhere, it just ended. 3 just bad, like, short, rushed matches in a row. And then you get the main event for New York. It was Mr. T versus Roddy Piper in a boxing match. And, I just don't like it when WWE introduces other sports into their product, You're a wrestling show. Why are you putting on boxing matches? And they do this time and time again, and I don't like it anytime they do it, I mean, in a baseball game, do they start playing basketball out of nowhere, I mean, stick to your sport, I mean, none of these guys are boxers. I mean, Mr. T isn't a boxer, even though he was Clubber Lang in Rocky 3, and Roddy Piper isn't a boxer, so it's not like you have somebody with boxing experience, so it was just... I mean, you're trying to portray a real sport in a scripted sport, and it just doesn't look good, I mean... I didn't want to watch a boxing match, and who wants to watch a staged boxing match? You watch boxing because it's real. Who wants to watch a fake boxing match? It was just a lot of, a lot of hugging, a lot of, on the ropes against the corner. I mean, the crowd wasn't even really that into it. It was just a mess, and it just ends on a disqualification. Roddy Piper body slams Mr. T and gets disqualified. So your New York main event ends in a disqualification. I feel so bad for the people that, went to New York and had to see this portion of the show, because you get 4 shitty fucking matches, and there's your WrestleMania night and a shitty fucking main event. This was not a good start to the show whatsoever. The New York portion of the show sucked major dick. So I was watching WrestleMania 2 last night, and I finished the New York portion of the show, and I said, fuck this shit, I'm just gonna go to sleep, because I had watched, 3 shitty hours of Raw that night, and I was watching this, and there's no way I could do 6 hours of shitty wrestling in one night. So I woke up today, and I finished the rest of the show. So let's get started. The next portion opens up at Rosemont Horizon in Chicago. And they had another actress doing commentary with Gorilla Monsoon. Why? I didn't understand why they had a bunch of actresses doing commentary. She wasn't as bad as the first chick, but she didn't add anything either. Anyway, we get the first match. It's the Fabulous Moolah versus Velvet McIntyre for the WWF Women's Championship. And I thought I saw some pretty bad women's matches in my life, but this is one of the worst, and that's saying a lot. Horrible match. Velvet McIntyre has no business being a wrestler. This match was like over 1 minute, and she botched everything in under a minute and a half match. It looked horrible. It just ends with Velvet McIntyre missing a splash, and Moolah pins her 1, 2, 3. Thank God it wasn't more than a minute and a half though. Then you get Corporal Kirchner versus Nikolai Volkov. Another short bad match. It was just a lot of punching, a lot of running around the ring, and it ends with Freddie Blassie, who's in the corner of Nikolai Volkov. He tries to throw Volkov his cane, but Corporal Kirchner intercepts it, hits Nikolai Volkov with it, gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Shitty, stupid match. Then you get the first enjoyable thing of the night. 7 matches in, you get your first enjoyable thing. It was a battle royal between 20-man battle royal. There were NFL players in the match, and there were WWF wrestlers in the match. You had a lot of future stars, a lot of legends there. You had Andre the Giant, you had the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. You had Bruno Sammartino, some other people I'm not remembering right now. But enjoyable, nothing great, nothing spectacular, but it was the first enjoyable thing. Andre the Giant wins the Battle Royal, last eliminating the Hart Foundation. Last guy to go out is Bret Hart. Andre the Giant wins it. So first enjoyable thing. Thank you WrestleMania for doing one thing. WrestleMania 2 for doing one thing right. Then you get the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid. And one thing this WrestleMania did introduce is a lot of future stars. The introduction of a lot of people to WrestleMania. British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith being one of them. And in their corner was Ozzy Osbourne. And Ozzy Osbourne did nothing in the whole match. So, this WrestleMania had so many celebrities. Like where WrestleMania 1 used the celebrities in a smart way and to their advantage. This WrestleMania used way too much of it, and for no reason. It was like they had a celebrity involved with every match, and they ended up doing nothing like spectacular. Like you didn't even have celebrities. They were just like people from commercials and people from whatever. But you know, Ozzy Osbourne did nothing in this match. Why was he in the corner? I don't know. But yeah, it was the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith, and the Dynamite Kid versus Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake for the Tag Team Championship. Match of the night, very good match. It went on for a while. Fast paced, very back and forth. A lot of powerful stuff from the British Bulldogs, especially Davey Boy Smith. So I have to give this match a lot of credit because out of all this shit, this was something actually really good, something very enjoyable. Easily match of the night, but it ends kind of out of nowhere. British Bulldog is getting beat up by, I think, Greg the Hammer Valentine or Brutus Beefcake. I can't remember who, but British Bulldog throws the other guy into his partner's corner, and the opponent butts heads with Dynamite Kid, and he falls down, and British Bulldog gets the pin. I was expecting a bigger finish than just the headbutt falling down, getting the pin, but whatever it is. I'm not gonna bitch about the match because it was good. Then that's it for the Chicago portion, and then you go to the Los Angeles portion of the show, the final portion. It opens up with Ricky Steamboat versus Hercules Hernandez. This match was okay. It was a little slow, a lot of holding for my taste, but it was okay. Nothing that good, nothing that bad. Ricky Steamboat gets the win with the crossbody, pin 1, 2, 3, whatever. Then you get a goofball match. Adrian Adonis versus Uncle Elmer, two fat bastards. One dressing like a woman, having makeup, has a pink dress on him. It's like a goofball. It was like slapstick comedy match. I felt like I was watching a Three Stooges short. You know, it was all just comedy, no wrestling whatsoever. It went on for like 3 minutes. 3 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Why this was on the card, I have no idea. Adrian Adonis gets the victory because he does like a splash slash headbutt. He botched it, but he gets the pin. Thank God it was only 3 minutes. Then you get Terry Funk and Hoss Funk, also known as Dory Funk, versus the Junkyard Dog and Tito Santana. And this was another good match. Not as good as the other tag team match, but this was good. Not, nothing amazing. It was like a little, out of hand at times, a little all over the place. People going in and out of the ring. It slowed down a little bit, but it was good. I'm not going to give it too much shit. It ends with Jimmy Hart throwing Terry Funk the megaphone, and Terry Funk hits Junkyard Dog in the head with it, with the referee's back turn, and gets the pin 1, 2, 3. So yeah, good match so far. Only 2 fucking good matches on this card. And then you get the main event. Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy in a steel cage for the WWF Championship. And I like this main event. I did, I mean, I know that everybody hates Hulk Hogan these days. It's cool to hate Hulk Hogan, but I'm sorry. I mean, I was entertained by this. Yeah, it wasn't a technical 5-star masterpiece, but why does everything that's wrestling have to be like some technical, beautiful art show? There's a time and place for technical wrestling and a time and place for entertainment and physical wrestling, and that's what this match was. It wasn't about being pretty, being beautiful, being flashy. It was just about 2 big guys getting it on in a steel cage. Not trying to sound gay there, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I enjoyed this match, and it was back and forth. It wasn't just Hulk Hogan getting beat up the entire time. You had some King Kong Bundy got busted open when Hulk Hogan slammed his head against the steel cage. A very impressive slam from Hulk Hogan, scoop slamming King Kong Bundy. He hulked up, did the leg drop. A lot of on the edge of your seat finishes with people trying to leave the cage. And one thing I just cannot stand when people compare John Cena to Hulk Hogan, because John Cena is nowhere near the same ballpark as Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was a phenomenon. Everybody was a fan of Hulk Hogan at the time. And the difference between John Cena, Hulk Hogan knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to have the crowd in the palm of his hand, and he knows when to do his moves, when to do his comeback. Whereas John Cena, his comebacks are just illogical. They make no sense. They look stupid and phony, and the crowd isn't into it. The crowd is booing it. Hulk Hogan knew how to get the crowd behind him, knew when to execute his comeback. It's not just about springing up and doing a comeback. It's about where the story is at that point. And that's what Hulk Hogan did. So you guys can bash Hulk Hogan all you want. And I'm not even that much of a Hulk Hogan fan. I personally prefer Hollywood Hulk Hogan over Hulkamania Hulk Hogan. But I'm saying shit like it is. You marks that live in your little wrestling bubble and like to hate everything that's mainstream, I'm sorry, but Hulk Hogan was a phenomenon. There's no doubt about it. And this was a good match. Hulk Hogan gets the win, going over the top of the cage, wins the WWF Championship, and everybody's happy. So yeah, this WrestleMania was not good. WrestleMania 2 was not a good show. I'm sorry, 80s fans, but this was not a good show. You know, WrestleMania 1 worked, and I feel like WrestleMania 2 was trying to amplify everything that WrestleMania 1 did, but it was too much overload. Too many matches, too many celebrities, too many arenas, you know? They tried to go too far, and it just failed on a lot of accounts. You know, you got four enjoyable matches out of 12, so that's, you know, like 33, that's a third, like 33% good stuff. All the other matches were just 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops, just no showcasing of anything, no, you know, and I don't know, I mean, too many celebrities. The first portion was horrible. No, like the lighting was bad, the commentating was bad. So I'm gonna have to give this a 4 out of 10. You know, I said 33%, but I'm just gonna give it a little more because, you know, those 4 matches were enjoyable, especially after all this shit that you had to go through to get to them. So I'll give it a 4 out of 10. There you go. Not a very good WrestleMania. But I'm looking forward to WrestleMania 3. I hear that's one of the best of all time. So stick around for and stay tuned for a review of WrestleMania 3 coming soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know. Anyway, WrestleMania 2, 4 out of 10. I'm Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.